Hey Tim, we're gonna have to do a little bit of pretending because the setup I have obviously is totally not exactly like yours, but I want you to pretend that this whole big unit here is the HVAC condenser unit you're working on. I want you to pretend that this horizontal board I've just got it stuck up there for this purpose. That is the horizontal beam, I-beam or whatever metal beam you have running across the long side of the unit. You'll have one on this side and one on the other side. This strapping is the kind of strapping we're talking about using. It's got loops in both ends. It's heavy duty. It's made for lifting heavy loads or towing heavy loads. And what you're going to see in a minute, I'm gonna move you around a little bit, so bear with me. But you're going to tie. If this is the beam, you're going to take this strap, go around the beam. Let me get this in. You'll go to the beam and you'll tuck this behind the beam and back around to you, and then you will actually loop through. So you're going to create a choking. You're going to use this to choke that beam, and then once you choke it, you may wind up still having to wrap some more around that beam, because in the end, once you've choked it and wrapped it around the beam however long you need to, you need this end to wind up in the top, very close to the center, for it to kind of work out right. So however long this is that you buy, maybe 20 feet, maybe way too much, wrap your additional around the beam and then throw this up there, and the goal is to get the center. And then you'll do the same thing on the other side with the other strap. But I'm gonna walk you up here and let you see this real quick. Hopefully you can see. We're back here at there we go. This beam is, this is representing the beam. So you're literally you're just gonna go behind it, or you can go up, down, it doesn't really matter. You're gonna go over the beam and then you're gonna slide the other end through. And that actually is what makes you get all your kinks out of it. But anyway, once you do that, then you can choke that beam, and it can't come off. And then, like I said, once you throw this over the top and see how much you need to still use up for center, you can then, once this is choked, you can wrap it around again, or however many times you need to. Again, the goal being this end to be top center. I'm gonna back you back up. So you can see I got it tied to the beam, I got it choked on the beam. And now all I want to do is throw it all the way across the other side. And as you can tell, I can't really see in this camera good, but I've got a little bit hanging on the other side, which is fine. It just means I would need to wrap it around the beam again until I get close to center. Now I would do the same thing to the other side, so hang tight just a second. Hopefully you can hear me. On this side, same thing. Wrap around the beam, run it through, to choke it around the beam, and then throw it over. All right, so what you see in this case, and it'll maybe a little bit different on yours as far as length, I got a lot of extra on this side that came from the other side, and I've got extra on the other side that came from this side. All I want to do now, I can't show you this part because I don't have the same setup. Now I'm just going to wrap around both sides of the beams more with my straps, so that when I take them over the center, they kind of meet. they get close, and you want that height over the condenser unit where they meet to come up to at least waist high, so you got some room to walk forward and walk backwards. But you don't want to, it'll keep you from going off the edges, and I'll show you that now. When you get both of these ends on the top of the unit in the center, about this high, you know, roughly waist high, so that your lanyard can then click into this. This is way too small, but it's what I had to show you. This is a clevis. You're going to take this, pull the pin out of this clevis. I like the clevises that actually unscrew. The big ones, they're probably like a 1 inch. This piece here is about a 1 inch piece. You just want to get a big clevis, a big enough anyway. It's not so critical. Even this one's strong enough to do what we're doing. It's just too small for these straps. But if I did have a big clevis, I would feed this end through, and I'd feed this end through. I'd put my pin through, hopefully screw in. If it's not a screw in, it's okay. It probably will be, because it's the bigger they are, the more they start using the threads. But now I've got, obviously I'd have a bigger clevis, but this clevis is now in the center and on the top center of your unit, about waist high roughly. It's not critical that it don't need to be much higher than that, because you don't want to have too much room. Plus you got the length of your lanyard, so that your lanyard on your back will hook into this clevis, and this clevis, I know I'm over explaining this, but I just want to make sure you know. This clevis, when it's on the top center, and let's say I'm standing on the top center right now, this is what I hook my lanyard into, and that way I can't go any further than that right, any further than that left, and I can go as forward and backward as it lets me, but nothing else. And obviously if you need it to be lower to the ground, because you feel like you got too much play, then wrap around your beams a little more, or if you need to loosen it, you can just adjust it however you need to. But these two straps, one anchored to this beam, one anchored to the other beam, and this in the center, will give you a great place to put your lanyard into, and the clearance you have should be enough to let you get off of the panels that you're trying to replace. Let me know if you have any questions. Good luck.